Hi, I'm Glenn Kaminsky, Senior Technical Product Marketing Manager at ServiceNow. Welcome to the Kingston Deep Dive for IT Business Management and Software Asset Management, otherwise known as ITBM and SAM. Today we'll take a look at the latest updates to help you run IT like a business. In ITBM, we've added new functionality but also put a big focus on improving usability. This builds on the end-to-end management strategy that led us to be named as a leader in the Forrester Strategic Portfolio Management Wave Report. In software asset management, we're building on the big release in Jakarta by extending our reach to cover more publishers and provide new refinements into the product. When you combine that with the support that we're providing for all the other things that you're doing in ServiceNow platform, you'll realize even greater value with ServiceNow.
Hi, I'm Kevin Nanny, Senior Director for ITBM. Today, I want to highlight the features in Kingston that we did within the product line for IT Business Management. And what you'll notice here is that we focused a lot on usability and user experience throughout all the different modules that make up ITBM. Now, the agenda for today is I'm going to walk you through the key features that were released. The first one being Project Workspace in the PPM space. I'm also going to talk about sprint and backlog management, as we spent a lot of time in the Agile and SDLC module during Kingston. Next, I'm going to focus on application portfolio management, where we added capability-based planning and technical portfolio management within the app rationalization story. Lastly, I'm going to conclude with what we did in ITFM around improved budgeting and forecasting. So let me jump to the first feature. The first thing we worked on was the Project Workspace. Now, the problem we had was portfolio and product managers and project managers is they were jumping all over the application trying to aggregate data or get the information they needed against the different projects, against the different portfolios, to roll this information up so that they could get a status report or just get an idea of what was going on with those projects. So what we did was we aggregated all those into a single workplace or workspace within the PPM module. And what I'd like to do is jump over and show you exactly what we did. So here, I'm jumping into our new Project Workspace page. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that you get this first glance at how the projects are doing. It's color-coded, you can see the status, the percent complete, and these are customizable widgets. So you can put on here whatever you want to see. I'm going to jump into this one that's in yellow, and let's see why. So as you notice, as the screen pops up, you quickly see what the status of the project is, the percent complete. I can look at my open risk, any issues, change requests that are out there. And again, the thing to highlight here is that this is a completely configurable screen. And if I scroll down, I can look at delayed milestones, I can bring in project member allocation details, I can look at monthly hours that are spent, etc. Again, very customizable. And while I'm going through this menu at the top, this is the one thing that was a big change for us, is you'll see these persona-based menus being more pervasive throughout the ITBM application. So we've used this in a lot of places, so it makes it a lot easier to navigate than it was before. So in the details area, one of the big things that we accomplished in Kingston was we listened to our customers, and a lot of the feedback was during implementation, they were adding a lot of fields, a lot of information that they wanted to see during the implementation of PPM. And so what we did was we ended up adding a lot of this inside the details page here. Things like business case. So a lot of customers were adding business case information. Financials, the score. We saw a lot of our customers looking at risk, value, size, trying to get to an overall score across their project. Well, now this is standard out of the box. So a big change for us. What you'll also see is on the planning console, so this is standard inside the application, but now we've added it as part of this menu. So you'll see the description, the state of the project, who it's assigned to, and you can make the dependencies, you can change the dependencies, all from within this workspace. And then lastly, and this is my favorite piece of it, is on the status report. So again, a lot of users were going around and they were aggregating information from everywhere and trying to bring it together into this status report. Well, now we've done this for you. And you can go in here and you can look at things like plan versus actual cost, allocated versus actual resources, and we made it very easy to print with the print button and also pull up past status reports from before. So you can bring these up, you can pull up past status reports, you can print them off, take them to your executive meetings. We make it very easy for you to give your project updates now. So that's what's new in the project status. The next thing I want to talk about, and I'm very excited to talk about, is sprint and backlog management. So for Kingston, we spent a lot of time in the Agile and SDLC space just changing the usability and the application itself. So the problem was that product owners, they were having to, again, search throughout the application to get the information they needed around the stories, their epics, their backlog, and make these decisions on priorities for their next sprint or what they were building in their next release. So we spent a ton of time just bringing this all together with new drag and drop features so that you can easily manage the backlog into your current stories. And I'm going to jump into the demo and show you some of the things that we've done. So if I'm a product owner, I might want to go to the burn down chart, for example. And here, what you're going to see is you can look at the specific sprint burn down. I can go and look at different teams and their current burn down charts and get this holistic picture of where you might be at for that particular sprint or for that release. Now, another big change we made was in the backlog planning, and this is a really great screen, is I can pull in everything, all my stories, my epics. I can cut the data by the different epics. I can look at my story points, where my acceptance criteria is. I can move things around. And then for personally, if I'm looking at my team and what we're working on, is now I have the ability to look at my sprints and my backlog in a single place, and I can easily make decisions to move things from the backlog into my various sprints if I want to drop them in there. Another cool feature we did is when you complete your sprint, we actually help guide you. So if all the stories were not completed in that particular sprint, now you have the ability to choose where you want those stories to go. We actually force you to move those stories into the backlog or into a different sprint. So we help you through the whole release process. Another area that we spent a lot of time on in Kingston was application portfolio management. So think about your app rationalization story. Now, a couple things. This was a release that we did last year, and as that product started to mature, we realized and we heard from our customers that we were missing some key functionality. One of them was around capability-based planning. So as you're looking at your strategy for your app rationalization or what you're going to do with these applications, the problem is that you want to know what those business capabilities across your applications are, and what is the rank, what is the score. Can I build a hierarchy around these business capabilities so I can start to make decisions around these applications as it relates to the business needs? So again, it's giving you more ammunition for making the right decision around app rationalization that matches your business needs. And along that same story, what am I doing around the technology needs around those applications? As you're making decisions, what's my technical debt? What are my calculated risk against the technology that's involved in these applications? And how is that shared across multiple applications? So now we give you the ability to relate those life cycles of technology against your application strategy so that you can make better decisions, again, against your app rationalization story. And lastly, what I wanted to highlight for Kingston was the improved budgeting and forecasting. So one of the most important things around financial data, whether it's budgeting or forecasting, is where's my data, what can I do with my data, and how can I manipulate that data to get the information that I need. So what I want to do is I want to jump into a demo here because it shows it best. So as I look at the planning view for my financial data, what you're seeing here is a new grid technology inside our user interface, which allows these drag and drop features that I've been showing you. It also allows us to show this data in a more consumable fashion. And so, for example, if I want to look at my portfolios and look at the different spend, what's been budgeted and forecasted, now I have all this in a single place. So I've clicked on my IT applications portfolio, and it's showing me all the demand and the projects that are out there, and what's been spent or what's been budgeted and forecasted. Now, I can break this down by account number, but what you'll see here is what if I want to look at my accounts by portfolio, not just by the tasks that they're involved in? Well, that's an easy fix now, is I can just take the account number, I can drag it up into the filter, and now I can look at my same portfolio, but now it's broken down by the different accounts. So I can see where the money is going across accounts versus just by portfolio task, for example. And so that wraps up the highlights that I wanted to show you for Kingston. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Colby Blakeman, the Product Manager for IT Asset Management. My team and I are extremely excited to bring you the Kingston release, which for us has been all about user experience and expanding the use cases for software asset management. And this release, it's never been easier to understand your license position for new publishers, as well as show back license cost by department or another grouping dimension. Today we're going to be talking about several new features, including new publisher packs for IBM and VMware, Office 365 subscription management, reconciliation dimensions, custom license metrics, content library improvements, and software blacklisting. It's a full agenda, so let's get started. Software audits continue to be one of the biggest pain points for our customers. The difficulty in determining an accurate license position before or during an audit can be extremely difficult, and some of the well-known publishers are often the most difficult to manage because they impose complex license metrics such as processor value units or per application instances. In Jakarta, we introduced publisher packs for Microsoft and Oracle to help with this complex licensing, as well as provide specific compliance reports for those publishers. In Kingston, I'm pleased to announce new publisher packs for IBM and VMware. The IBM Publisher Pack is going to help you integrate with IBM's license metric tool, ILMT, to gather PVU and RVU consumption information so that you can generate an accurate license position alongside the rest of your software portfolio. The VMware Publisher Pack adds license metrics such as per application instance and per processor so that you can do compliance for products like vCenter and vSphere. Using ServiceNow Discovery and the VMware Publisher Pack together allows you to view the full vCenter topology as well as your VMware compliance position. So in addition to managing this licensing complexity, IT organizations face a new challenge of managing hybrid software, which consists of both on-premise software installations and cloud subscriptions. Solutions like Office 365 provide you flexibility in how you access and consume software, but can create added challenges when trying to manage those together. For this reason, I'm pleased to announce Office 365 Subscription Management, which is going to help you manage both those on-premise software installations and the cloud subscriptions all from a single place. Now you or the software asset managers in your organization can monitor cloud consumption to control cost. You can also leverage performance analytics to forecast future subscription needs based on past trends. Now I'd like to show you what some of this looks like within software asset management. When you first enter software asset management in ServiceNow in the Kingston release, you're going to notice a completely redesigned dashboard. You can still quickly identify the products which are out of compliance and the true-up cost associated with that non-compliance. But what you'll notice is that everything's built using performance analytics so that you can really trend that information over time to understand if, as an organization, you're getting better or getting worse. There are also additional tabs for license, compliance, and removal summaries. These are new tabs which give you new insight into still what is your overall product compliance, but also what's your software spend and what percentage of that spend are you not even utilizing in your organization, so that you can compare this against your true-up costs and potential savings. A publisher overview is also available. This publisher overview gives you access still to your Microsoft and Oracle reports, but also to new tabs for Office 365, which is where you'll find all of that information about the number of assigned subscriptions within your organization, the number of subscriptions which haven't been used in the past 30 days, and the total number of available subscriptions in your organization. Current subscription spend is also represented, as well as the trend of this information over time, so that you can understand your current picture, but also the forecasted picture of what software subscriptions you'll need in the future. There are also tabs for IBM and for the VMware Publisher Packs. With each one of these tabs, you get a glimpse into your overall compliance position for each one of those publishers. Here on the VMware tab, I can quickly see the number of products which are out of compliance, as well as the true-up cost for that non-compliance. You also get a look into what are your top 5 installed products, as well as a geographical breakdown for vSphere non-compliance. There's also an audit view which can be quickly accessed from this dashboard, which shows you your license key consumption for all of the vCenter products within your organization. You can quickly group by license key and view how many times that license key has been used so that you can understand before an audit if you have pirated license keys within your organization. In addition to this licensing complexity, organizations also organize themselves into component units, such as subsidiaries, departments, or geographies. This organizational complexity introduced by our customers makes it challenging to understand, for example, compliance by country, or to show back costs by a particular department. Reconciliation grouping dimensions gives you the ability to understand your license position and your software costs in the same way that you see your business. Now you can show back this cost by a particular country, a department, a region, or a cost center, as well as understand your compliance position by those same group and subgroup values. Another critical new feature for software reconciliation is custom license metrics. Now, we at ServiceNow will continue to focus on new publisher packs for some of the major software vendors out there, but we also understand that there's other vendors with obscure or not so common license metrics. Custom license metrics give you the ability to create your own license calculations that can be used just like any other license metric in the software asset management product. Now I'd like to show you how to create your own custom license metrics and use them during reconciliation. As a software manager, you can navigate into the software asset management product to the custom license metric screen, where you'll be able to create a new custom license metric or modify an existing one already created by your organization. Once selected, you can name the metric, define the order that it should run during reconciliation, and define if the metric calculation applies to devices or to users. Once that's done, you can define the actual calculation that will be applied during the reconciliation process. In this case, we're using an example for index value, which is looking at the disk space on CMDB CI computer records. Once these custom metrics are defined, they can be used on software entitlements. Software entitlements are the software assets that you own as an organization, which defines all of the number of rights that you've purchased for a particular software product. When creating a new software entitlement, you can define the software model. In this case, we'll use Splunk as an example. You select the metric group as custom, and the license metric as index volume, which is the metric that we just created. You can also define the number of rights that you've purchased and the cost of those as well. Once the entitlement exists in the system, it will automatically be considered during the next run of reconciliation, which occurs once a week, or you can run it ad hoc. This ad hoc process can be done for specific publishers, such as Adobe, or in this case Splunk, which is for our custom license metric. When you run this reconciliation ad hoc, you can also define your group metric and a subgroup metric, which is for reconciliation grouping dimensions discussed previously. Once complete, a new reconciliation result will be generated. This reconciliation result in this case is for specific publishers, and it's going to be grouped by department. When you drill into this result, you're still going to get the high-level overview for all of the products for the publishers that were ran in this run of reconciliation, as well as an individual compliance status for each one of those products. You'll also find the individual true-up cost, over-licensed amount, and if there's any potential savings for these products. Now, if you drill into one of these products, you can see the individual group dimensions, such as in this case for department. We can see that there's 3 different departments using the Photoshop product from Adobe Systems. If we wanted to take a look and see the results for our custom license metric, we can do so by drilling into the product result for Splunk. Here we can see a license metric result was generated for index volume. We own 3,200 rights, 761 of those were used, and we have a certain number that's unused, creating the over-licensed amount we saw at the product result level. Initially introduced in the Jakarta release, the content library provides you access to critical information such as a product repository and normalization rules. Now, our commitment to enhancing this library is exemplified in the over 140,000 new normalization rules that have been introduced to the library since the Jakarta release. Now, the great thing about the content library is that it's available outside of the typical ServiceNow release cycle, meaning that customers today in the Jakarta release can gain access to all of this new content being added on a weekly basis. Now, our commitment to improving the library also extends beyond just enhancing what is currently available, which is why I'm pleased to announce the introduction of predefined suites, a new source of content available in the Kingston release. Software suites such as Microsoft Office are common for grouping applications together from a licensing or a deployment perspective. Now, in Jakarta, you had the ability to create and reconcile software suites manually. Now with Kingston, a lot of these suites and their suite components will automatically be created as part of the procurement or identification processes. Now, I'd like to show you how to leverage this new content in the Kingston release. As a software manager, when you navigate into software asset management, You can create software models. A software model helps you define the products that you care about as an organization, as well as helps you tie what you've purchased to what's been discovered. Software models are typically created as part of the procurement process, but you can also create them ahead of time so that you can publish them to a service catalog. When creating a software model, you define the publisher, the product, as well as a discovery mapping, which helps you identify the version and the edition of the product that you care about. In this case, since we're creating a suite, we'll use an example here. And notice now that the current components list is empty, but when you save this record, all of the component software models will automatically be created and related to this suite parent. Finally, I'm extremely excited to introduce a brand new feature for software asset management called software blacklisting. Blacklisting software is common for any type of unauthorized software within your organization, and its impact can be twofold. One, unauthorized software introduces security vulnerabilities within your IT infrastructure. Employees can also download games, movie players, or other types of software which can cause network bandwidth issues or productivity concerns. Now, many organizations have protocols in place to prevent this software from ever being installed in the first place, but those protocols aren't always 100% effective. With software blacklisting, you can create and maintain a list of the blacklisted software within your organization so that you can quickly identify any software installations which are considered blacklisted and create removal candidates to ensure that that software is removed, reducing the risk to your organization and ensuring that your employees are complying with your agreed upon policies within your organization. Now today we covered many new features for software asset management, including new publisher packs for IBM and VMware, reconciliation grouping dimensions, Office 365 subscription management, and software blacklisting. For a full list of the features available for software asset management in the Kingston release, please refer to the release notes available in the ServiceNow documentation website. Thank you so much, and back to Glenn.
Well, that wraps it up for what's new in Kingston for IT business management and software asset management. We're excited about the new capabilities, and we're really excited about how we can help our customers run IT like a business. Take the next step and take advantage of what's new by upgrading to Kingston, which is available now through High. If you're interested in seeing and learning more, check out the ITBM and SAM ServiceNow communities or talk to your account rep or partner. Thanks again for watching today, and hope to see everybody at Knowledge.